Have you ever wanted to open your own group home? Were you told that you needed a license from the state? Were you told that you had to hire staff? You were probably told that you had to own the property, right? Let Forston Consultants introduce you to Independent Living Facilities, ILF, which are group homes that do not require a license, staff, and you don't have to own the property. At Forston Consultants, we walk you through the entire process of how to operate your own independent living facility. We don't just give you a bunch of videos to watch on your own, which could get confusing. Here's what you need to do next, in this order. Step number 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Forston Consultants for tons of secrets on how to start your own independent living facility. Step 2, sign up for our webinar at forstonconsultants.com to learn more about this great opportunity. Step number 3, purchase our best-selling book, How to Open an Independent Living Facility in 10 Easy Steps. Step number 4, contact us for your free consultation so you can quit your boring job in the next 90 days.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live broadcast. Don't wait to be great. We're super excited like always, and thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate that. You guys have a lot of choices of where you could be on these internet streets, but if you've chosen to be here, we just want to say thank you so much for that. My name is Derek Forston. I'm Mr. ILF. I am the guy that teaches people and their families how to start their own housing program, preferably called independent living facilities. And for some reason this week, we got a lot of questions about what is an ILF. So I can tell that these are new people because, again, most people that hang around us most of the time, they know what these are. But if you guys know anything about us, we love to explain it. We love to talk about it. So again, independent living facilities are an environment, a house that adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight, right? So there's not like a group home or an ALF or that traditional group home, or those IDD group homes, right? People that have intellectual disabilities, right? These are really like people that we're housing that really just hit a bump in the road somewhere, right? They can't afford their own apartment. They can't afford to buy a house. Maybe they can't even afford even to just rent a room from somebody. So we do something that's called, again, ILFs, and it is kind of like the room rentals, but for the most part, 90% of the way of how it works is 2 people per room. Right. But we also have settings where it's only 1 person per room, and that's a private room model. But again, before we get super deep, again, tonight we're going to be talking about independent living facilities. I'm going to make some announcements tonight, but I'm also going to take some questions. So I'm not sure how long we'll be here. We'll turn this into a kind of that whole questionnaire thing, how we did last week, that if you guys have questions or concerns, we want you to bring those to the stage. And I also want to make sure that everybody can hear me loud and clear. So as soon as people start coming in, I got a brand new laptop, so I just want to make sure that it's working. So please let me know as soon as you guys start kind of filtering into the room, if you guys can hear me. I've kind of named this segment tonight, I'm Just Asking, with Derek Forston, the ILF guy. Many years ago, actually, I had a segment that I used to play that was called I'm Just Asking. Shay, I'm not being heard? Oh, I thought she said no. So I'm actually kind of bringing that back. And that's the format that we'll start this with. So again, if you guys have questions or concerns about this independent living facility model, that is exactly what we're here for. I made a promise to God many years ago that if he allowed me to get into this and actually change my, I will go all over the world sharing it with other people, and that I would never take any credit. So again, if you guys have questions or concerns about anything in terms of running this, let us know. We're also going to talk about our one-on-one coaching. We're also going to talk about this crazy deal that we put out last week, and a lot of people also took advantage of that as well. So that's our do-it-yourself version of our coaching. It's our DIY. The normal price of that is $997, right? But this time we actually dropped that price to only $297, and we also gave the ability to upgrade for only $47 a month inside of our VIP community, where only the ILF Mastery Blueprint members are. So I'm getting ready also to bring up my wife, Shay. Shay, are we good with the volume? Is everybody able to hear me okay?
Test.
All right, you good. So I'm going to bring Shay up. she was giving me that funny look, y'all. So I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me.
Yep.
Because there are
So
also
we are
times
good,
where I
yeah.
come on here live and I'm talking for 5, 6, 7 minutes in a row and nobody can hear a word I'm saying. So if you're in here right now and you can hear me, just type yes in the chat, shoot me a thumbs up or heart in the chat or something to let us know that you can hear us. And then I'll bounce it over to Shay right now to introduce herself, and then we'll jump into some questions.
Hey, everybody. I'm Shanya Shea Forston, president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, co-founder at Forston Consultants. Listen, digitalflowsolutions.net, VA 101, all of our many entities that help other entities and businesses, organizations get their business out there, exposed, in the forefront and doing great things. So Derek, you are good and clear. What we did is we switched over to the Rodecaster because you were using your camera as the mic.
Oh, I was? Okay.
Yeah, it sounded a little funny when I logged in from YouTube, but all is well. So everybody could still hear you no matter what. But welcome everybody. Again, I am excited to be here. Derek, let's definitely do a Q&A. And let's start. I like that vibe of the Q&A. Like
I just too, especially when they got a lot of questions. Because if you guys don't know us, we thrive off of questions, right. So we love it. Back on you, Shay.
No, I appreciate that, and I think that version of this forum is so intricate and it makes it more intimate. So I'm excited to be here. Love having this conversation. Love being able to share this platform with my amazing husband, as well as share our journey, our venture with business, how we do it, how we make it work, how we work together as a couple, and then also how we see other people grow and scale and do amazing things within their business. So Derek, back to you.
Good stuff. So also I'm scrolling below right now that if this is your first time ever joining us, we got a free gift that we want to give you. And also just to get you in our system to get familiar with who we are and what we do and how to do it, most importantly. So if you're new to us, just text the word new, NEW, to 407-326-0086. And I think my team has fixed it now that not only do you get the actual free gift, but you also get our webinar. Yep. So usually I give you guys a completely different prompt to get the webinar. But I think now, and if I'm wrong, Shay'll tell me, but if you guys text the word new, that'll give you not only our free and newest ebook that's entitled Don't Wait to Be Great, right? That's a saying that we live by. And I wrote a book about it. So it's just kind of giving you guys some encouragement, some push, some know-how, and some ways to navigate through life when you're trying to start this dream and everybody either doubts it, don't believe in you, or they just ignore it, right? That whole book is called Don't Wait to Be Great. And the way that we kind of look at it is that if you have the opportunity to be great, why would you wait on that, right? So certain things in life, you kind of want to be patient and wait it out and see how it's going to go. But if there's an opportunity to be great and serve your city and provide affordable housing and do God's will all in one, to me, it's like, why would you wait on that? So also let us know in the chat. Shout me out if you're new to us. We got a lot of people that just join us religiously and they're always here and they support what we do. But if you're new to us, we want to say thank you as well. And again, thank you for all of the people that always just come and you guys hang around us anyway. And again, kind of what we've been doing over our last few sessions, we've been turning it into more so of a questionnaire, allowing you guys to ask us questions. Now, obviously, if you guys know us, I can come on here and talk for 2 or 3 hours in a row. But I think you guys get better value when you ask the actual questions that you're wanting to know versus me just kind of giving you content, right? Now, if you guys kind of hesitate or if you begin to get shy on me, I do got some stuff that I want to talk about because there was probably over 7 or 8 different text messages or emails that came in this week. And I hope a lot of you guys, or maybe some of the folks that are here, that you guys simply ask, well, what is an ILF, right? Because it's not a group home. It's not an assisted living facility, but it is an environment where adults can live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. Now, if you want to know the real definition in Forston Consultants' own dictionary, it's called a residence model or housing facility where adults can live and thrive without the need for on-site medical intervention and or supervision. And notice it says no staff required in parentheses. So I jokingly always tell people, but I really mean this, the people that we serve can cook their own bologna sandwich. They can put their own TV dinner shade in the microwave on their own. They can provide their own transportation through Uber, Lyft, their friend, or they can call their insurance company, Shay. And most important, which get a lot of people in trouble, they can take their own medications without me having to pretend to be a nurse a doctor, a LPN, or a CNA. And I'll admit right there, and I'll pause. Yeah. That's where a lot of people get in trouble when they're trying to start something similar to what this is. But they're trying to be all things to all people.
You can't do that.
And I learned real fast, a long time ago, that if we specialize in housing and let other people handle their other needs, we can have this thing almost kind of like a basketball team where everybody's got their own role. If you guys know basketball or football, here's a sports analogy. 5 players on the basketball team. The point guard has a role. The shooting guard has a role. The center, the tall guy, he's got a role. The power forward, small forward, everybody's got their own role. So in this housing, your role, after learning it from us and sitting around us, is to provide a safe, clean living environment. I'm going to let the social worker social work. I'm going to let the case manager case manage.
Right.
Guys, I'm going to let the psychiatrist handle their mental health. I'm not trying to be all of these things. I'm not trying to be a chef. As great as I think I can fry a piece of chicken, y'all, that is not what we do. My clients believe that they all can cook on their own, so they don't want me cooking their food. So I'm going to pause for 2 seconds and just see if we got questions right there, because that right there, what I just told you guys, is the cheat code to getting started in this, and what stops most people because they think they got to buy the property, which we don't. We rent or lease these places. And then for 2, there's no license because of the people that I serve are completely independent. Shay, if these are people that I have to bathe, clothe, give their medications, I need a license to do that. And that's why the ILF model is so powerful, because it doesn't require a license. And I'll land my plane there.
What I wanted to talk about is, because you said let the social worker social work, and let us be let us do what we do. I want to dive into that a little bit more, Derek, because I think a lot of people might say, well, what is it that you really do? And how can you let other components take part in this program or this housing program that we provide? So in regards to that, I'll just jump in and say that, our main priority is safe, affordable housing, right? So our job is to make sure that, one, we're housing you correctly in an appropriate, clean, safe, affordable living environment. We're making sure that we're doing our job by placing the right people and creating that safe environment, even with the other individuals that enter into the home. So that is our job. So when Derek says, let everybody else play their role, play their part, you'll see that, you'll be partnering with case management, social services, other organizations that may provide other resources to these residents. Let them do their part, right? Whether that's transportation, whether that's medication, whether that is psych services, psychological mental health services, let them do their job. You don't get in the way of that or try to perform those same tasks as they do, because now you're operating outside of your scope of work, and you're no longer a ILF owner and operator. You're trying to now create a whole ecosystem that you oversee, you run, you operate, and that is taking you completely outside of the lines of a ILF, independent living facility, shared housing, whatever you want to call it. That is now not removing you, but placing you in a position to having to run and operate a licensed housing program. So I wanted to bring some clarity to that, Derek, because I know a lot of times we say it, but I want people to get the understanding of what we mean behind it, because a lot of times people get like, well, what you mean? I want to do this. I want to do that. Like I had some conversations last week and people are like, well, I'm a dietitian. I would love to, teach X, Y, and Z within my home. Fine, teach it, but don't start doing it, right? Don't start don't start meal prepping for every client. Lord forbid, one of the clients has a shellfish allergy. You didn't document that correctly. And now they're suing you for, whatever adverse reaction they had to the shellfish in the food, right? So it's things like that you want to stay clear of and keep the liability very minimal to your organization and to your ILF. So I just wanted to share that, Derek.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I appreciate that, Shay. So here, guys, on the screen is, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, go ahead and scan that one. And if you haven't watched our webinar tonight, I'm gonna just talk to you guys like family. I'm gonna answer a lot of questions. But if you want a chronological order of what is this, how do you get started? Our webinar is actually the first step. And then it also gives you a free call with Shay and I to talk about how can we get you started in your city. Now, if you just got general questions, bring those right here to YouTube and let's learn together. But if you say, Derek, I think I want that coaching, man, but I got some questions I want to ask you before moving forward, or you just don't want to ask your questions on YouTube, guys, I give everybody a free discovery call. So big shout out to a lot of you all last week that took these free discovery calls. And a lot of you all, about half of you all who had it, you guys took the coaching also after that call. So a lot of times what that does, that call brings clarity, because on here, I talk in a whole. When I talk to you on that call, I'm talking about you, your family, and your city and where you live at. Right. And that's how the coaching goes as well. Because I can talk on YouTube as a broad scope, or as some people say, I can paint it with that broad brush. But when I coach you individually or on that call, man, I got a fine, like almost a needle paintbrush, because I'm being really strategic and I'm customizing it to you and where you live at. So if you guys haven't done that, go ahead and do that. And then for some people that just say, well, what it look like, you know, it can look like many different things, but this is one of my largest ILFs. And remember, guys, I don't own this place, right? So a lot of people think that they have to own the property, and I'll just break that myth right now. Guys, as a social worker, I was making $28,000 a year. So how in the world could I buy a house? Now, today, I actually know a little bit more than I did way back then, and there's a lot of creative ways to buy real estate. But y'all, it's hard to buy a piece of real estate with making 28 grand a year. And if you don't know how much that is, that's less than $900 every 2 weeks taxed once I get it. But again, just like most of y'all, I had a love for God, love for people, and I wanted to get into real estate. So God showed me my dream through the job I had as a social worker. So for my new family, the Rivers family, you guys are new to us. And you said, well, Derek, where did you get this idea? Well, I'm not no genius. I didn't think of this in my sleep at nighttime and woke up the next morning. God put me around it by my prayers and by what I wanted to do in life. I always like to help people. Like, right? I mean, I had a heart for older people. My wife, I jokingly say this, but my wife, Shay, tricked me to go to college, y'all. That was not in my plans. Shay was like, Derek, let's go see what these people offer at this school. And y'all, before I knew it, I left with the start date. And lucky for me, 4 years later, I walk across the stage in Jacksonville, Florida with a bachelor's degree in human services. But I never asked you guys to go to school to do this. That was just my route. So again, I literally saw my dream through the job I had, and God messed around and showed me a lady, y'all, that was making 41 grand a month, housing people in rats and roaches. So the nice way that you see these pictures, this is what I walked into after. But as this social worker right here begging God to change my life and to get into the game of real estate and helping people, I didn't know how to get started until I saw this stuff. And remember, y'all, I was the social worker, so I had all the addresses. I knew where they were. And something said, Derek, just go see what they look like. And y'all, this is what broke my heart. Right. I saw the rats and the roaches and the filth and the grime. And remember, y'all, I just told you I saw a lady making $41,000 a month doing this. And that to me was the cheat code. Because I was like, wow, if she made 41 grand a month mistreating people, can you imagine the way my life gonna turn out when I do this the right way? And that's why I teach it to people all over the world now, because you don't have to mistreat people to make great money. Money follows ministry, and this is a ministry, y'all. I don't need a church and a congregation to have a ministry. The Bible says not Derek, but the poor and needy will always be among us. And when I saw these conditions, it broke my heart and I wanted to change it. So if you can't see this right here, guys, these are cinder blocks that bed is sitting on, and the other bed is sitting on the dadgum floor. And again, I jokingly say this, but I'm so serious. If that don't break your heart, you in the wrong room. You on the wrong route to YouTube channel. Yep. Because if you love God, love people, and love real estate, and you want to create generational wealth and make a bunch of money doing God's will, you don't have to do it like this.
Say it again. I think that's something that is so imperative to kind of hone in on, because a lot of people don't realize, you know, like they don't realize how often these conditions are even seen, right? Or how many times people encounter case managers, social workers, family members of these clients that we house, see these conditions that you see on TV, on the screen. So just be mindful of the people that you are taking care of, and what may be, you know, what you think is, if you think this is appropriate, this is it's not. So we're just here to let you know that it's not. So go for it, Derek. I'm sorry. I just had to share that. That's absolutely not appropriate. I just want to put it on the screen, because somebody gonna catch this one picture and run with it and say, man, Derek, that's how y'all do it.
Look what I just put on the screen, guys.
Right.
In fact, 2 of y'all type it in the chat. This is not what it should look like. And just to quickly, if you want to see what it should look like, now Shay can talk about this house in a minute in terms of how she bought it and rehabbed it. But more importantly, in the inside of it, for me, looks like this. Now, Shay can talk to you guys in a minute about when you really get into this, or if God has really blessed you in life and you can go and buy a house. Y'all, Shay bought this house. Most of us, 95% of y'all, including me, we gonna rent or lease these places. Now, if God is real good to you or your finances intact already, we recommend buying it. Shay bought this property as a piece of junk. It was an ugly green. The roof was caving in. I can go on and on, but I'll let Shay tell her own story. Shay bought this and rehabbed and now housing women that have jobs.
Yeah.
So again, for me, I'm always concerned with the inside. I'm gonna let Shay tell you about fixing and flipping and all of that. Who cares? I got a social worker heart, and I'm more concerned about what does the inside look like, because that's where they living at. Shay can't house nobody on that roof. Understand me? So the inside for the independent living facility looks like this in that shared environment. And again, guys, this ain't rocket science. And watch this, those headboards donated to us. Those sheets and pillow and comforter, Walmart. That towel set and washcloth, Walmart. Those 2 bins that I've already put toilet paper, toiletries, toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo, conditioner that was donated to me.
Yeah. Guys,
those things came from Walmart too. But the toiletries, because of Shay's nonprofit, people gave us the soap, the toothpaste. Now, Shay, talk for 2 seconds of why you're granted stuff like that, and maybe I'm not as an LLC.
Man, because again, I'm a nonprofit organization that utilizes my 501c3 to then apply for grants that are in alignment with my programs. Housing, which is my ILF, is a part of my nonprofits program. That is one of the aspects of our program. And that's where we can, when we go and apply and write for grants or search grants, we're looking at grants that are physically in alignment with, housing the homeless or the displaced, looking at, providing resources, whether it be, toiletries, whatever, we can apply for those particular grants. And that helps us to either cover the overhead of our, of our housing program.
I dropped my bottle of water, sorry.
Oh my, what's going on? But either, to cover some of the overhead or be able, like prime example, yesterday, the Angela Denise Foundation was able to pay for a hotel room for a woman that was homeless, right? Second Chance Housing did a part as well, even though they're not a nonprofit organization. They contributed to, they became a donor for the Angela Denise Foundation by providing transportation for that same individual, right? So there's a lot of things you can do from a for-profit as you can for a nonprofit, but ultimately the nonprofit is the one that's going to be eligible for, the tax exempt donations, being able to apply and receive grant funding, whether it's from other organizations, community funds, and so forth and so on. So, that's a whole conversation in itself. But what I do want to just share is the basics of that. And that is, the nonprofit 501c3 has a broader opportunity in grant funding, donations, and other type of campaigns to gain, or solicit. That's the word I want to use. Solicit for funding. So that's the difference, Derek, where there is not as much. There are opportunities for-profit entities to obtain grants, but they're a lot less attainable. And you have there's more competition in that space. And there's a limited pot of funds for the for-profit organizations, where for the nonprofit organizations, you just have to literally find the other organizations that you align with, and then you can go after those funds. And again, it's still, it's more nonprofits than there are funds out there, but you when you find the right alignment, the right partnerships, you tend to make those partnerships long term. So you may end up with a partner that you can receive funds on an annual basis, a quarterly basis. So you get those recurring donors that supply financially into your nonprofit. So I hope that helps.
Good stuff. I love it. So again, guys, if you guys have questions or concerns about what we're talking about, and if you're just joining us, we're discussing independent living facilities. And this is an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. And you don't have to own the property, right? Most of us lease and rent these properties. So big shout out to you folks that are able to buy these properties. Big shout out to the people that start by renting or leasing and then you graduate to buying. That's what Shay and I did. Guys, I've rented and leased for a long time and I still do. Because guess what? Right now, I'm looking for a rental. All my beds are full, guys. I have no more beds available at Second Chance Housing. So I'm looking for another rental because guess what? I can't buy a house every 3 months. I can't buy a house every 6 months. But guess what? I can lease or rent one every 30 days, y'all. Does that make sense, everybody? Can two people type in the chat, that makes sense? Because most of y'all were just like me to where you thought you had to own the property. Guys, the moment I found out that I could rent these places, and guys, it was from the lady that was making the 41 grand a month housing people in rats and roaches. She was like, Derek, I don't own these houses. I was like, y'all, that was the cheat code for me. When she was like, Derek, I don't own these places. So I was like, so you mean to me I can go and rent this place? Because guys, as a poor social worker, I couldn't figure out how to go and buy one. But y'all, I can scrape up enough money to go and rent a house, right? So that's my dream and prayer for you all, that we've unveiled something that maybe you didn't know. And again, that's why we wanted to, this whole title tonight or subtitle is, I'm just asking. So what are your questions? We're going to take a little small break. I'm going to take me a glass of water real quick. But when I come back, I hope you guys put 55 questions in the chat, because I want to answer your questions in terms of what are you thinking? Because you're saying this guy just told me I can start my own housing program, no license. I don't have to own the place. And I can connect with social workers and case managers just like Derek was. And that's who's going to fill my beds. If you guys got questions about that, let us know. If not, I got some other things I want to ramble off. I want to talk about some coaching. But if you guys got questions, none of that goes before your questions. So we'll be right back. And I hope you got a lot of questions in the chat by the time we get back. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right, we are back. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to check the chat, see if you guys have any questions. And if I don't see questions, I'm going to assume that these are some of my regular people maybe. But if you're new to us, guys, I would absolutely ask questions, because there's nobody that knows this business, the shared housing, the way that we do. And there's nobody that give it away like us, right? So this is a great time for you to take advantage of questions. Obviously, we have coaching and we got all kind of stuff, but I promised God many years ago that if he allowed me to get into this, that I go all over the world sharing it, and I would take no credit. So let me see. I don't really want that one, but I guess I use it. Okay, so I'm actually getting ready to welcome my TikTok family. There's a whole family that literally wanted me to go live for them. So I'm going to do that for them as well, but I'm going to stay right here. Again, if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about independent living facilities. So the last few slides that I've shown have shown the 2 beds per room. And this is what a bedroom looks like, that when you get a call from somebody that does not want to share a room per se, maybe they think maybe they have enough income not to share. Maybe they want more privacy. So even though that this independent living facility model, most of the time you see those 2 beds per room, what do we do when we get that one person that's the military veteran or that works at Walmart or Sonny's Barbecue that has no interest in sharing a room? This is what a private room looks like. So my TikTok family, if you guys are just joining, MD Accessories, thank you so much for being here. That's what that private room looks like. Also join us on YouTube to see a bigger version of it and more pictures. But guys, this is not a Photoshop room. This is actually a bathroom at Shay's place, right? So that's one of those private rooms that we're talking about.
Right.
Or sometime, because a lot of y'all that I'm coaching now, and I'll admit, y'all gave me this idea. So I love it when y'all tell the coach something that he hasn't quite done. A lot of you all that I'm coaching right now, instead of giving that master bedroom to one person, you guys are still housing two people, but you're still calling it a private suite because they got their own bathroom. I think that's genius, actually.
Yeah.
Because as you guys know, in the way that we teach it, the regular room, let's just say maybe $700 per person, but if it's got a bathroom, maybe it's $850 now. So no longer am I just telling people that the private room is for one person. Guys, you can also do that private suite for two people that say, well, Derek, I still want my own bathroom. I don't mind sharing with Miss Carol. We've been getting along anyway. So now the two women are now housed together. So again, if you're just joining us, especially my TikTok people, I see you guys flooding in. We're discussing independent living facilities. These are not group homes. These are not ALFs.
Right.
These are not IDDs. All of those require a license. You must own the property. You have to hire staff, and there's state oversight. Yeah. With these independent living facilities, Twin and J Camp and Warren, I don't need a license to do this. And it's because of the people that we're helping and housing. That's the cheat code. So let me slow it down right there because I talk fast and sometimes I stutter. But the reason why I don't need a license for this model, Shay, is because of the clientele or the population or the people or the avatar, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it avatar. Some people call it people. Some people call them patients. I'll admit, we don't. We call our people clients. So for every client that we serve, they can cook their own bologna sandwich. They can take their own medications and they can provide their own transportation. TikTok family.
He loves these bologna sandwiches, y'all.
TikTok family, this is the absolute cheat code for your life. If you've always wanted to help people, involve the love of God in it, and also real estate, this is it. Show me something else, Miss Nadine, other than you being a pastor or a preacher at a church, Miss Sheila. Nadine, have you ever wanted to help people? Do you love God? Mr. Justin, did you always want to get into real estate? Well, this is it. And if you guys join us right now on our YouTube channel at Forston Consultants, you can see a bigger screen of what I'm showing. And I'm showing a lot of stuff. So my TikTok family, you see that one picture. That's a private room that's actually at my wife's place, who has the Angela Denise Foundation. Now, Shay, for my TikTok people, if they can hear you, can you talk about really quickly how you do exactly what I do, Shay, but you are nonprofit. Shay, I'm for profit. Yeah. Nobody can tell me what to do, Shay. Can you tell the people how you're structured and what's the difference?
It's a little bit different from me, guys. I am nonprofit. Yeah. I am governed by a board of directors. So my board of directors pretty much help me navigate, right? They are intricate parts of what we do. They get the mission, the vision, all of that stuff. They embody the same thing I do when it comes to the ILF or our organization. So they are like an extension of me that goes out and does the same things that I do. They connect with other like-minded individuals. They help us to promote. They help us to meet other professionals in our field, looking for donors, helping me fundraise. They do all of that stuff. But when it comes to my decision making for the Angela Denise Foundation is done as a group, right? So the board has buy-in, has say-so in what we can and can't do, what we are expecting to do, how we are wanting to, what are our new programs that we're going to be implementing for the year. They have a lot of say-so in that. And again, they help to navigate the spending of our funds, allocating our funds on a budgetary basis, right? I can't just go willy-nilly and just start spending money however I feel, right? I do have to answer to them, to where like your LLC or your actual standing for-profit entity, if it's not a corporation or using that corporate model that is also governed by a board, you do not have that same issue. In LLC, as sole proprietorship, all of those things, you can really spend your funds how you want to. You know, your profits are your profits. You do what you have, you know, do what you want with it. Where for me, the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, we're not in the business of making a profit, although we can. But that money goes right back into other services that we're going to be providing or programs that we'll be providing to our community. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Good stuff. I love it. And for any of my people that are just joining us, any of the TikTok family, if you guys have questions, make sure you put it in the chat. I prefer you guys come to YouTube because I can see it and I can respond to it. And I can also put it on the screen. TikTok is flowing so fast that I don't catch all the questions.
Yeah.
So for my TikTok people, to Tasha, Miss Reese Cup, Freddie, if you guys can all join us on Forston Consultants on YouTube, that's Forston Consultants. That's FORSTON Consultants with an S on it. Mm-hmm. Or if you just type in Derek Forston on the internet, guys, I'll pop right up. I'll fill up that whole front page because there's nobody that teaches and do what we do and give it away all over the world. My dream for you guys is to quit your job this year. Now, I prefer the word resign, but when I'm talking strong and I want to be serious, I use the word quit because I want you to leave that job eventually to do what God has called you to do. Most of y'all, you want to do this anyway. God has called you to help people. God has called you to help people. God has called you to help people. Yeah. And most of y'all trying to get into real estate. Yeah. You just never knew that you can combine them all together. So TikTok family, if you guys come to Forston Consultants, you guys can see more of what I'm showing because right now you guys just see one bed. And that's a private room that prime example, the Rivers family, you guys say, well, Darren, what that room cost? I'm in Orlando, Florida. That private room that you see right now for me at Second Chance Housing is $940. Okay? My shared room that has the 2 rooms in it is $740. So guys, I'm kind of like a $200 difference if you want privacy. Yeah. Now, depending on what property that you're at, and we coach you guys on this, that $740 might be $750. It could be $760. It could be $800 for that shared room. That's why we say starting at. So that private room that you see on screen, that starts at $940. And again, in my city, guys, that's less than $24 a day. In fact, somebody do the math for me because I may be a little off, right? But can you imagine, because the way I teach you guys and tell y'all, the most raggediest hotel in your city, they still want $75 a night. Most of y'all, when I teach this to you, your fee is going to be less than $25 a day. So you're going to be the cheat code to your city. Yeah. Rivers family, you guys were asking, well, Derek, how do you become a no-brainer? Why do they always call on you? I kind of just said it, but how I said it earlier, I talk fast and I stutter. So let me slow it down. The worst motel in your city, ladies and gentlemen, guys, Shay just paid last night for a lady to stay in a hotel. $100 and how much it was?
$101, and it was.
And this ain't the Ritz-Carlton.
It's not.
Some really swanky place. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. The worst motel in your city is $75 a night. When I teach y'all this, can somebody put $740 divided by 31 days? That'll tell you what my daily fee is. And can somebody also put in the chat, what is that $940 divided by 31 days? And that's what I offer. And that's what you guys are going to offer now that you know this information. We believe in something that's called move at the speed of instruction. My TikTok people, there's something on my page that says get offer or something. Y'all can fill out that form to just get more information about our coaching, to talk to me, or if you're real smart, you just text that phrase more info. And that's MOREINFO. And that'll give you our introductory webinar and a phone call with me. So welcome to all of my TikTok people that keep joining. Again, really slowly, if you guys just text the phrase more info, that's 2 words, and that's all you have to text. And our automation does the rest. So if you just text MOREINFO to the phone number 407-326-0086,
That'll give you our introductory webinar that explains all of this.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're done, my team gonna see that you watched it, and they're gonna send you a link to book a call with me so I can help you quit your job this year. Type in the chat me if you desire to leave your job in 2025. I can't be the only one that once I got into this, I wanted to leave my job to have more time for this dream that God has put on my heart.
Yeah.
TikTok family, y'all please type the word me. If y'all were just like me, that when God puts something in your heart, you want to run with that and not keep going to this 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
And for the lady that asked, can I repeat that number? Absolutely, I can. I'll do that all night long. That number is 407-326-0086. And also my TikTok people, I saw other people saying this. Can y'all double tap the screen real quick? Everybody on TikTok, double tap that screen. Go bop, bop. That gives me hearts. I didn't know that. So y'all run me up right now. Double tap that screen on TikTok. But my YouTube family, that you guys can see all of this stuff. Back to the Rivers family, you guys probably missed it, but this is for that military veteran or the guy that's got the job. Thank y'all so much on TikTok. I appreciate that. 17, 18, 19, title gifter. I don't know what any of that stuff mean, but thank y'all. Rivers family, this is what, when you guys ask, well, Derek, what happens when you get a guy that don't want to share? I'm going to slow it down, y'all. Rivers family, this is what it looks like. It's either the private suite or the private room. Shay, can you tell them the difference between a private suite and a private room? What's the difference?
Yeah, so the private suite is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be an accommodation that has its own ensuite bathroom. So that's a private room with its own bathroom. I'm going to give y'all a cheat code, right? Me personally, my master bathroom, like Derek spoke about it earlier, my master bedrooms, have the ensuite. So I still consider that it's a semi-private suite, right? Because they have their ensuite available to them. So they don't have to go out to the common restroom. They have a bathroom in their master they have the master bathroom that's associated. And just those two individuals use that restroom. Sorry, I gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Bless me. So the private room is exactly that. It is a private accommodation. They still use the shared restroom, right? The shared accommodation still belong to them, but their bedroom is theirs. They don't have to worry about nobody else coming in it. They don't have to worry about having a roommate, or a bunk buddy or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It is a private room that they get to just have at it, right? That is their space. But that private suite is not like the master. For me, my master is always going to be considered a semi-private suite because we'll place two women in that room. Because of the size of it, I try to never, ever, ever, ever let my masters be a private suite. But then a semi-private suite. But the private suite is that single room with an ensuite, that one occupant with an ensuite, which is their bathroom that they use. So in one of my ladies' homes, I have all of the models, right, Derek? I have shared.
You sure do.
I have private. I have a private suite. So I have the semi-private suite, a private suite, and there's a shared room and a private room. So I have a 4-bedroom property, and it accommodates each and every one of those models that we were talking about. The master is the semi-private suite because the master bedroom is a huge room, walk-in closet, amazing bathroom. 2 women share that room. I have a private suite where there is one lady in a room that has an ensuite. Then I have a shared accommodation where there are 2 women in 1 bedroom, but they still share the common restrooms, the restroom in the home. And then I also have a private room where, how many rooms? I'm running out of rooms. I think I have 2 privates that are considered just private rooms that use that same shared restroom accommodation. So,
and Shay, I also have a question for you as well. The Rivers family was asking, what do you do for security? Can you tell them about the doorknobs you bought for your houses specifically?
They are fancy.
I didn't do this, but Shay did. So can you?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll do a video one day, or maybe a picture to show them.
I have to go do something tomorrow.
Talk about
so
that
just remind
security
me and I'll
feature
take
that you add to each room.
I'll do that video tomorrow. So just remind me. So for my ladies' homes, it's more than just cameras on the inside. I have cameras on the outside. One of my properties, the one that we've purchased that I own, is on a good bit of land, and it backs to like a ravine and a wooded area. So that home has cameras that surround the house, right? So for safety purposes.
Yeah.
So I have exterior cameras on, that go every corner of the house. So no part of the house is left unmonitored. Inside the home in all common areas, there are cameras. Every bedroom has its own digital door lock, and we can set them up. The ladies have a key for the door lock. They also can use their fingerprint to access to unlock the door, and they can also use a numeric code to unlock their bedroom door. And that's the same thing for the main entrance of the house. So we can tell who's exiting and entering the home because they all have private codes to utilize when they exit and enter the property.
Shay, why did you decide to do that? Because I don't do that. I don't buy these fancy door locks. Did you do it because they're women? Did you do it because they're working women? Do you do it because they have expensive jewelry in their room? Like,
right.
Somebody's thinking, like, why did you go that extra step to do that?
Right. So for this particular location, the house that has all of these bells and whistles, now all of my homes have the cameras. They all have the digital door lock for the main entryway, but their bedrooms at other properties, not so much so. I do not put the door locks on the bedroom doors. But in this particular home that we're talking about, this population, I have women that work from home. I have some that, like, this population is that population that are not mental health, diagnosed. They are your everyday working individuals who have fallen on, difficult times, and they are using us as a step up to get out of that funky situation that they've been in, no matter what, has caused it. But for the most part, these women, like I said, they have expensive items, and we don't want them to lose any of that stuff, because people are going to be people, right? You don't know. We can do our best to assess and bring in the right people, but you don't want people to just go and break in their rooms and all of that stuff. So that is the reason why I have the door locks on every door.
So Shay, here's another question, right? The Rivers family asks, do you have women that work from home, or does everybody have a job?
They all, I have two that work from home. I have another one that works outside. No, I have two that work from home. The other two work outside the home. And then I have two that are just home.
Good stuff. Now,
so they're just homebodies.
And for the Lawrence family that just joined us, could you explain to them and anybody that's new, what is an independent living facility?
Wow. So an independent living facility is a shared living environment, right? You hear people utilize a different phrase for everything. They co-living, communal living. This is different from a rooming house, right? This is, it's a lot more structured. There's a lot more safety precautions that we take in our ILFs, or independent living facilities. But this is where women, men, adults can live and thrive without the need of any type of assistance, whether it be mental, physical, emotional, well, can't say emotional, because we we're a little bit more than just the housing providers, right? We do spend time with our residents and interact with our residents. So emotionally, you can say we supply a need there, but it's not like, we're mandated to go in and be their emotional support. But ultimately, we're providing them with the access to affordable living in a shared environment. We maintain the rules, the regulations. We make sure that they have the Wi-Fi, lights, all of that stuff is on us. Lights, cable, water, we pay for that. They pay one set fee that is well below the normal, our national average or our local average on rental rates. And it allows those individuals, like my working women, to save and get ready to secure their own housing, so that they're not stuck with me for forever. The goal is to give them an opportunity to exit out of the ILF model into their own personal space. Derek, there is a question here on TikTok.
Yeah, read any of those off. It's just coming so fast, I miss it.
It says, do you have to own the property? How do you get the landlord's willing? So
go ahead and do
question. Slushy, I hope that's what I'm saying right. If not, don't beat me up. I apologize. But we do both. So we do the rental arbitrage model, and that is where we connect with landlords that understand what we do. This is a conversation that we have with our landlords. We do not go into this without informing the landlords, because we do not want to take that liability on ourselves. And we don't want to put those that are already in a fragile housing predicament into an even more fragile predicament by not telling the landlord finds out, now you done made people homeless again, right? But we do both. We own the properties as well as rent the properties. It's faster for me to acquire rentals at some points than it is for me to acquire purchasing properties. So we do both. So I hope that answers your question. And Derek, I'm going to hand this back to you.
All right. So again, guys, either you guys are just really shy or I'm answering all of your questions. So the TikTok is getting really big. So TikTok focus, if you guys have questions or concerns, let us know. Shay just answered 3 lushies or slushy, however Shay said did that. And forgive us for maybe messing that up. But no, ma'am, that's the biggest cheat code that was given to me, that I didn't have to own the property. God showed me a lady, y'all, that was making 41 grand a month doing this, what I'm talking to y'all about. But she was doing it in rats and roaches and filth and grime. Like, I said that she was mistreating people through real estate. So I'm not a genius by any means, guys. We literally just took what we saw bad and put our own spin on it. She says, do you teach how to do this? Yes. So Shay Love, that's my wife's name, Shay. So please text the phrase more info, and I'll repeat this 5 times back to back. So I want y'all to grab a pen. If you're new to us and you want to do this, Beanie B Malone says, I love this model. I have a co-living house for college students and it's going great. So that's proof in the pudding right there. So thank you so much for saying that, because sometimes when people hear this for the first time, they're like, man, what is this? Is that real? So thank you to that person that says that they're actually doing this. And they named a population that we also do this with, which is the college students. Big shout out to Ken and Rita Clum, because that's what they do.
Same thing,
But to answer that other question, I'm going to repeat this 5 times. First of all, you guys can join me right now on our YouTube channel at Forston Consultants. So if you take my last name, Forston, and put consultants, I'm live on YouTube right now. But if you text the phrase more info, that's MOREINFO. Thanks, Denise. I appreciate that.
Wow,
if you text that to 407-326-0086, that'll give you our introductory webinar and then a phone call with me so we can talk about how to get you started.
Have them do new, because then they get a free gift too. So that way they don't have to just
perfect. And did we check on that?
I'm actually fixing it now.
Okay, so if you guys text, so both of those will work, but Shay want to make this shorter and give you the free gift. So if you're new to us, and thank y'all for the ones that are doing it, text the word new, because that's going to give you our free gift and the webinar. So even if you did the more info already, do it again, but text the word new to the same phone number.
Fill out that form.
Fill out that form, and that's going to give you the webinar, because tonight I just talked to y'all like family. But that webinar was going to give you a more chronological order, and then we give you our free newest ebook that's entitled Don't Wait to Be Great. God has called a lot of y'all to be great, so why would we wait on that?
I think it's ILF 101.
What's that?
That's the free gift. ILF 101.
No, the ILF 101 should be, well, unless you guys changed it, it's the Don't Wait to Be Great book.
So you want me to switch it again? I'll switch.
Actually, to me, it don't matter. So all of them are great. I just thought the last time that we did it, it was the ebook entitled Don't Wait to Be Great.
Yeah,
so either way, so whatever free gift, we got a free gift for you, right? Something that you wouldn't have to pay for. And that's our way just to say thank you.
And I can,
because again, if I'm not mistaken, if you text the word new, you get 2 things. You're going to get our free gift and you're going to get the webinar, right? Yeah. And if I'm wrong about that, Shay will correct me in 2 minutes. But for anybody that's on TikTok or YouTube, and this is your first time ever encountering us, these are independent living facilities. To me, it's the cheat code to getting into real estate, because you don't have to own the property. You can rent it or lease it. And again, y'all, for my new people, I hate to keep saying it, but I like to show people where it came from. Y'all, I used to make 28 grand a year. And God showed me a lady living my dream doing this, what you see on screen, housing people. But y'all, she did it in rats and roaches and filth and grime and TikTok people. If y'all come to YouTube, I can show it to you. I'm on my YouTube channel live right now at Forston Consultants. That's Forston Consultants. When you come over here, let me know, because I'll shout you out and thank you personally. But what you see on screen right now is what we call purpose-driven real estate. A lot this week and last week and the week before, we've been getting a lot of calls for people that are in Airbnb, people that are in short-term rental, but they want to do something more meaningful with their real estate.
Yeah.
And that's why we call this PDR, because this is purpose-driven real estate. Because I'll admit, to do Airbnb, your heart don't have to be in that per se for the people. But for this model, your heart got to be in it. You got to love God. You got to love people. And if you love real estate, that's the icing on the cake. So that's what we tell everybody, and that's what we live by. Love God, love people, love real estate. And I'm at Forston Consultants. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Be my friend on Facebook at Derek Forston. I want to see 10 friend requests tonight for Derek Forston. And even more important than you being my friend, I want you to go in there and be nosy and look at all the stuff that we're talking about and what we're doing, what we're posting, and how do we communicate with social workers and case managers to serve as what we call the funnel system to get all of these great people. So again, if you've ever wanted to help people, but you also want to get involved into real estate, this is the way to combine the two together. And right here on this slide, we're going to talk about some of the clientele that we can serve. Military veterans, elderly adults, teenagers aging from the foster care system, women that are going or escaping domestic violence.
Yeah.
Put a number 1 in the chat if either one of these genres of people God has put on your heart. Because I know for me, I like the older people. I like military veterans. I like elderly adults. That's what God has put my heart at. Can everybody just type in the chat right now? Like, what has God put on your heart? Because my culture going to teach you that you'll use that, but you will also use what the community is dictating the need for.
Yep, exactly.
Shay, can you talk about what that means?
Yep.
What does it mean, Shay, when we talk about let the community dictate the need versus just your own opinion?
Right. Sometimes people get in the habit of saying, I want to house this particular population. Like for me, I knew I wanted to house women. Well, I didn't know. Derek forced me to house women. Because I really didn't know what I was doing and how I got.
They had a corporate America job,
yes.
y'all, when I pulled her from corporate America to help me. And that's what she mean
really
by that.
Did. So he was like, you're going to house the women. I don't want to do this. But ultimately, there was already a need established. But when I tell people all the time, because I have people that come to us and say, hey, I want to start with military veterans, and that's my sole focus. That's all I want to do is house the military veteran, blah, 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 blah. So, okay, what ends up happening if you start, your phone is ringing off the hook and you are getting calls every day, and your work, like there's a company or a corporation that's working with you, organization that's working or calling you. And every time they call you, you say, I'm sorry, I don't house that population, but I do house military veterans. Click. You've now left whatever population that was out to be homeless. And if you're seeing that is a consistent call for that population, then that's already dictating what your community needs. So that's where you have to be flexible and make sure that, yes, you can have a mind frame of you want to house a particular population, but you also need to pay attention to what the community is asking for at that specific time. What people don't realize is that the market fluctuates, right? Initially, we had a lot of mental health, behavioral health. That's still a common call for us. But then we get the call from the individual that is a working individual, fell on hard times, or, we've seen the crisis in the housing market in every state where, people aren't making 3 times the income. Rental rates went up by, astronomical numbers in a short span of time, and people go to renew their lease, and all of a sudden they're being told, oh, we're going up $300 when you renew. A lot of people couldn't afford that. So guess what? It ended up leaving them. It left them homeless. So now you have another population that is now a big phone call for us. So that is how you kind of dictate, or excuse me, you don't dictate, you allow your community to dictate the need, and be sensitive to that. Be mindful. If you see that you're taking phone calls for a particular population more than twice in a week, or in a day, then you need to see that that is a serious need in your community, and you need to find a way to meet that need. So that is how I say, the community is going to always dictate the need for you, because it's going to come in the phone calls that you receive.
Good stuff. Shay, do you see a difference in your calls seasonally in terms of like women or men? Because even though you house women, Shay, you get calls for everything.
Yeah.
So is there a seasonal thing that you see, that there's a certain time of the season where more calls come in than the other?
Correct.
For male to female?
Yes. So I see, and here's, I'm going to say two things, but I also want to educate Derek. I see more female calls come in around that late October time frame into your February.
Why is
March.
that? What's your opinion on that?
I think it's weather. I think it's weather permitting, but what people will also notice too is women are very resourceful in the summer. I see that, the population of the unhoused in the summer months, women can be very resourceful. So they can, they can couch surf a little bit longer than a man can. They can, find friends that they can then bunk with for a little bit longer until that time frame. But I do see an uptick in those, in the calls for females during those, like as we start entering into the colder months. And that's across the board. Even with some of the people that we consult, we do see that by just, following the numbers, even in their areas as well. So yes. And the educational piece I want to talk about, and this is something that I want anybody that's getting into this particular housing model, whether it's whatever you call it, right? We call it independent living facility because we trademark that. That is something that we own the trademark, or we hold the trademark for. So that is why we always, articulate the phrase independent living facility. But what I want to show people is the number of calls that we get for African-American women are so significantly they are so much lower than any other race. But we always hear, and this is something that I hear from a lot of the organizations and the boards that I sit on and the meetings that I go to concerning this population, is that they have high numbers. But what we're seeing is that, I don't know if it's pride, I don't know if it's embarrassment, I don't know what it is, but we're seeing that we're not getting those calls for those women. And that's across all of our homeless service networks, all of the other organizations that, are doing point in time counts, that are gathering this data and these statistics, that, we have to be more, for me, it's a lot of us that, there's a lot of housing providers that look like us, but I think there's a fear or a discomfort from those that look like us that need the assistance. I don't know if it's because of lack of information. I don't know if it's, if it's a pride thing. I don't know if it's an embarrassment thing. I do not know. So I just say, be mindful that as you're sharing your shared housing program, speak to the hearts of those that look like you. Yeah. Because I think they need to know that this is not something to be ashamed of, and let them know that there is an opportunity for them to get up out of this situation. So that was my teaching moment that I wanted to give there, because I had some conversations just last week at some of the meetings that we went to, and it was how to educate and inform those that are, of African American or, our Black and brown women to make use of these resources that are out there, and know that they're not going to be belittled, degraded, or looked down upon because they're looking for that access to help. So I hope that that's in, educational for you.
Love it, love it, love it. If you guys on TikTok can just double tap that screen for me, I think that sends me some hearts and some love. So just double tap the screen if you're here on TikTok. We would appreciate it. And again, if you're here on our YouTube channel and you guys appreciate this information, we want to give you a chance to be a blessing to us, right? And I'm not going to pass around some offering plate. We don't do that. We do have coaching, but at this point, if you guys have learned something, or we've opened your eyes to something that's new, if you guys can just scan that really quickly and give us a 5-star Google review, we will absolutely appreciate it. And even when I talk about some of these sales and scholarships and some of these deals that we have going on, a lot of those deals, kind of a part of that deal is to give a 5-star Google review. Prime example, like right now, our do-it-yourself version coaching is usually $997. And big shout out to a lot of you all that took advantage of this over the last few days. Y'all still owe me a Google review. My team forgot to tell y'all, but a part of that sale, that literally what changes the price from $9.97 to $2.97 is literally the Google review. So you can say 3 words and you can say 30 words. We just would love that if we've opened your eyes to something new, if we showed you a different way to use real estate, or if you just appreciate the way that we delivered this, the way we didn't hide anything, there's no stingy energy, all you guys owe us is a 5-star Google review. And again, if you're somebody that purchased that that DIY for that $2.97, if you guys can just go back, congratulations, first of all. But if you guys can go back and leave that Google review, I don't want my team to snatch y'all products back, right? So if y'all can go ahead and do that for us, we will absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, we'll also make sure and again, don't forget the DIY, just in case if you guys are new and don't know what that is, we have one-on-one coaching, but here lately, our do-it-yourself version coaching, a lot of people have been jumping on that because of the sale. So we call it a scholarship, but our DIY coaching, guys, there's not any one-on-one coaching with it, but it is videos of me giving y'all the same teaching that the IMB people get. In fact, we had a course one time, guys, called the Move at the Speed of Instruction group coaching. Guys, it was $4,500 by itself. I recorded all 5 weeks of it and put that inside of this coaching. So you're getting a product that was once $4,500 for $297. We also give you all of our paperwork, all the documents. So for years, people have been begging, Derek, can I just get y'all paperwork? No. We never would allow that. Now, guys, for $297, you get the paperwork. And guess what? We still build your website because we own the digital marketing company. So your website build out, all the paperwork and documents, and all the coaching from me of how to do this recorded. And it's the same coaching that the ILF Master Blueprint people get that pays $7,500. It's the same coaching. You just don't get me one-on-one. So for a lot of people, that's the cheat code. And then what we added to it is the ability to add to be a part of the VIP community, $47 a month. Now, if you only want the coaching and only want that plan for the $297, no problem. But you'll be doing yourself almost a disservice by not joining that VIP community. The same people that paid me $7,500, they're in that community, y'all. And that's no knock on them. They're just showing you guys an opportunity to get into it. And that's only $47 a month. Now, that does change here in a little bit, but I wanted to extend that to everybody. One more time, our do-it-yourself version of our ILF Master Blueprint coaching is normally $997, $3 away from $1,000. But right now, and Shay gonna tell me how long this go on for, you get it only for $297. And then to be in the ILF Mastery Blueprint VIP community, that's only $47 a month. So instead of paying that $7,500 like most people did, to me, y'all, that's a cheat code. And the way you get it is by texting DIY to 407-326-0086. If you're in YouTube, it's on the bottom of the screen right now, actually. So text DIY. That's it. Just those 3 letters. Nothing else. Not your name, not nothing. Just DIY to 407-326-0086. Okay? And guys, we believe by this thing right here that's called Move at the Speed of Instruction or Move at the Speed of Revelation. That means that when you get something like this and you hear it for the first time and it changed your life, like, why wouldn't you move on this? And we laugh and we joke and we play it all the time and we have a great time. But there are certain parts of where I want to get serious with y'all, and this is one of them. So if y'all will give me 32 seconds to be serious, watch this. God told most of y'all to help people. Most of y'all also understand that through real estate, you can create, excuse me, generational wealth. Wow. Hold on, y'all. That's the devil, but he alive.
Right.
Most of y'all, God told y'all to help people because that's biblical anyway. The other part to that is that real estate allows generational wealth. And most of y'all trying to find a way to save your family. Most of y'all trying to find a way to be bigger and better in your community. And guys, this involves it all. I often tell people, can you imagine having a business where the financial blessing from God was already built into it? Guys, money follows ministry. And money follows mastery. And we've mastered the art of teaching you all of how to start your own housing program without the need to buy the dadgum place. no license, no state oversight, and no staff. Because remember, one more time, the people that we're serving are completely independent. They can feed themselves, they can bathe themselves, and they can take their own medications.
Yeah.
Your job is to provide a safe, clean living environment. And if you can rent the house, watch this. My coaching tells most of y'all, 95% of y'all, that y'all can get 2 of these houses and leave your job. I'm gonna say that again really slowly because somebody gonna miss that. Most of y'all can rent or lease 2 of these houses, or by the time you get 2 of them, you could actually leave your job, because the money that you're gonna be making now is gonna override your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have more time during the day to get yourself together. So as we begin to close, just remember that we live by, again, don't wait to be great and move at the speed of instruction or the speed of revelation. And this one right here says procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. Now, you got to raise your hand. You don't have to type me in the chat, but in your own living room to yourself, did God kind of already urge you to help people? Have real estate already been on your mind to get into? Doesn't the Bible say the poor and needy will always be among us? Doesn't the Bible say that when you do unto the least of thee, God said it's like you doing it unto me? And that's why I think this model is so powerful, because it's actually a ministry. One more time, imagine having a job or a business to where the blessing of God was already built into it. Lord have mercy. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to take one more commercial break. I'm going to come back and answer any last questions that I see in the chat on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. And then I'm going to get you guys out of here before it's 8:20. Is that good, everybody? So if you got any questions, we'll do a rapid fire towards the end. And I would appreciate if 5 of y'all can click that link and just say, Derek, man, I really appreciate how you laid that down tonight. Like, nobody explained it like that. People behind this stuff, but Derek, you teach it freely. And not only do you do that, Derek, you got over 700 videos, you and Shay, on this topic.
Yeah.
So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, become my friend on Facebook, and go in there and be nosy. Go and look at what we're doing. Make sense, everybody? Let's take a break and we'll be right back. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right, so I am back. I got a question that came from TikTok. Shay Love, if you can come over real quick. If not, that's fine. I'll still answer it. Shay asks, how can you rent it when it's not your property? Easy, right? So remember, Shay, this is no different from me going to rent a place that if I'm going to live in it. But the only difference is now that this is actually a business deal now. So my coaching going in there, I got a lot of videos on it. But just to give you value right now, one of the things, Shay, to be honest with you, that cost me a $40,000 lawsuit, Shay. I did this the wrong way in the beginning and didn't do this in a business setting or the business real way. Meaning, my name is Derek Forston. I should not put that lease in Derek Forston's name. That's going to save somebody $30,000 right now. You're welcome. Thank me later. That's worth at least a Google review right now. Guys, that cost me $40,000 because I didn't know. So I started a business by the name of Second Chance Housing. So the first rule to my coaching, Miss Shay, is turn yourself into a business. Forget about your first and last name, right? Let's turn you into a business so that on that lease, and when I'm having the conversation with the guy that I'm gonna rent the place from, Shay, I'm gonna tell him what I'm kind of doing. And there's a way to say that too. That's all wrapped up into our coaching, because that was another big mistake I made.
That's a whole conversation.
A lot of people don't know what to say to these homeowners to do this. That's why one of the biggest part of my coaching is the verbiage, the language, and who we say it to. Shay, that's a big mistake that a lot of people make. They don't know what to say and who to say it to.
Right.
So we teach you guys that. That's actually a part of our coaching. I probably got videos on it.
Yeah.
But just to answer your original question, I'm going to get this house not in Derek's name.
Please
I'm
don't.
going to get it in second chance housing so the guy already knows what I do. Somebody asked earlier, Shay, do we tell the people what we doing? Absolutely.
You better.
I know people, Shay, that'll get into this and won't tell the landlord. That's not how we do this. I'm going to tell them, but it's the way I word it. It's in the verbiage and the language of how I say it so that it sounds like a no-brainer to him. Shay, if you still with me, say, yeah, Derek, that makes sense. Or if it don't, Shay, say, Derek, I'm lost. Shay, let me know in the chat. Shay, love. Do you still turnkey? Wait, do you still do turnkey program? You sound like somebody that may have known that we've done the turnkey, the diamond package. So we actually do, kind of, sort of. But the way I do it today is that now years ago, I would rent that place and do a diamond package for a turnkey for somebody else. Now I don't do that. Now, if I own the property, let's just say if Shay wanted to one day give up her ILF and do that as a turnkey for somebody else, I would do it to that house because we own it.
Right.
Makes sense, but
Right.
I don't really do the turnkey from the standpoint of me renting it and then renting it to you. But if we own it, I will do a turnkey that way. So either she heard me say that one time or you've been around us a long time because we haven't done a turnkey probably in over 3 years. So great question, Lushy. She put, yep, okay, perfect. And did I answer the question? Yep, Shay said, yep, Derek, that makes sense. So again, my TikTok people, I'm getting ready to leave, but make sure you follow me, obviously, on TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, but make sure you get that free webinar and the free gift by texting the word new, just NEW, to 407-326-0086.
Right.
And I'll repeat that 3 more times before I go. I'm going to pray you guys out of here, and I'm going to let y'all go. We're usually here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, if our day don't go crazy. But every Monday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm live on YouTube religiously. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm on YouTube religiously. TikTok is kind of hit and miss, but make sure that you guys are joining us on YouTube. And please watch that webinar, because that's going to get you a call with me, because my team going to see that you've watched it, and they're going to send you a link to schedule a call, and it's free. And I'll answer every question you got.
So, Derek,
right before we go, real quick, Shay, I'm at 968. I think hearts on TikTok. Can we get it to 1,000? Can you guys double tap that screen on TikTok? Just double tap the screen real quick for me, Lushy and Jazz and Shay. Can y'all double tap that screen? Just bop, 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 bop. Double tap the screen for me. Back on you, Shay, and I'm gonna get these people out of here.
No, I just wanted to say, someone did do the new. And I'm looking at, I lost the number. Give me a second. I'm looking at the.
Thank y'all so much for all those double taps too. I appreciate it. I don't know. I'm not sure what that does for me. I did get an email the other day that TikTok said I made 7 cents just the other night on my live. I don't know what that means either. But thank y'all so much. I think I had over 1,200 or 1,400 likes. Tonight I'm at 988. So y'all can double tap that screen for me. I'm not selling anything per se on screen like some people, but I'm teaching you guys how you can be the cheat code to your family and your city.
So I want to give
I'm at 1,000 just that fast.
Wow.
Bam.
I want to give a quick heads up to whomever has the phone number ending in 0338. You did the new automation, and I want to make sure that you get your free gift. It looks like you did not add your email address. Our free gifts are given in our download portal, where all of our accesses are. So you want to make sure that you do add that email address to that contact card, so that you can get access to your free gift. If not, you're going to get a couple more text messages from me saying, hey, are you sure you want this free gift? Don't forget your free gift. Click this link. So go ahead and make sure you do that. So I just wanted to give that information.
And also everybody that's still on our YouTube channel, and even the TikTok people, that if you guys can go to YouTube, you'll see that I have a screen up right now that's a QR code. We just want a Google review from you all, whether you buy anything from me or not. That don't matter. But I would appreciate the 5-star Google review, because it helps other people make a decision from what you experienced.
Yeah.
So if you've enjoyed this and you leave a review, I pray that God bless your life, because if somebody purchases something from us because they read your review, Like, I pray that God bless you for it.
Become
So again,
an affiliate. What you
right,
mean?
exactly.
Like,
right?
go to our
Do
website,
even better.
become an affiliate. We have a link, you'll go ahead. And the fun thing about this is if you get that free download, your affiliate links for all of our products. I'm talking about
some people just sell
product.
what we do. So you can actually sell
Right.
our products by becoming an affiliate. If
Right.
you know
So
somebody that loves God, loves people, love real estate, you should be sharing this so that you can get paid for it.
Right.
Check.
So prime example, if you fill in that information, your affiliate links for every product, every service that we provide will end up in your portal. It's called your customer portal, where all of your downloads, all of your deliverables live. And then you also get all of your links, whether it's for the DIY, whether it's for the ILF Mastery Blueprint, whether it's for any of our consulting services, you get a commission. So make sure that you don't point nobody in our direction without becoming an affiliate. So go to our website, that's forstonconsultants.com, and that's with an S on the end. So Forston Consultants, because there's more than one consultant, is multiple Forstons in the group. So go ahead and look for, it says become an affiliate. Let me make sure, and I'll also put that in the, it does not, where is our affiliate, Eric?
Somebody did it the other night, so it's got to be there.
I'm gonna find it. Don't you worry, and I'm gonna put it right.
But
there
also,
in the
guys,
link.
if you can't find it, but if you send us somebody, just send me an email or text. Hey, Derek, I sent you Miss Sarah
it's
Johnson.
on the homepage. It's on the homepage
Okay,
that says consultation services. Right in the middle, it says become an affiliate and financing. So you want to go ahead.
So
and
repeat that very
join.
slowly, even for people that may be hearing this on TikTok, and tell them how to be an affiliate of what we do.
I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do copy and paste. So you can go to forstonconsultants.com. On the homepage, it will be halfway down the homepage where you'll see our services. And in the middle, it says become an affiliate, and then it says financing. So you want to click that link, become an affiliate, fill out all of the information. We need your email address, guys. We cannot send you the links without your email address, or give you access to that client portal. You want to be a part of that client portal, because then you'll be able to go into your portal and see who's clicking your links. If you have friends that click the link, it'll show you. So you can help push them.
And then you call and say, girl, I saw you clicked on, you better jump in. He got a scholarship too.
And then you get paid.
Yep.
So that's how it works. So you want to become an affiliate, and I'll put that link in the, I just put it.
And also big shout out to the few people that text the word scholarship. That leads to a phone call straight to me. That means you want the coaching and you want to see how much of a discount is available. So that's also another shout out that I'll give right now. If you know for a fact that you want this coaching, you've heard enough, and you just want to see how much the discount can be, I would also text the word scholarship. But make sure that you watch the webinar, because my team gonna check all of that before they put you on the phone with me. So watch the webinar. But if you know you want the coaching, text the word scholarship. So big shout out to James, the Tavares family, and also the Miller family. I think I got calls with you guys this week. That means you guys want the coaching and you just want to see how much that discount is. And I'll tell you right now, guys, it's $5,000 that I'm giving y'all for the ILF Master Blueprint coaching. Okay. So if you're hearing this, if you went to our checkout page and you just type the number 2025 for the year 2025, guys, it immediately gives a $5,000 discount off of our ILF Mastery Blueprint coaching, which is normally $7,500. So if you can do the math on that from $7,500 and I take away that $5,000, guys, that's what the cost is for our one-on-one coaching. Now, again, if that's outside your realm, don't forget the do-it-yourself version, the DIY, is only $297. And then you can join the VIP community where I still coach and you can ask questions and still get me for $47 a month.
Listen, can I tell you
that
how
should
excited,
be a cheat code for
Can I
somebody.
tell you how excited I am about? And not only that, we go live every third Wednesday in that we have a Zoom live that we have. And we spend hours just answering
We spent over
your
2
questions.
hours and a half two Wednesdays ago?
3. And then when you join that community, guess what? You still get to see all of that same information.
Yep.
All of that information.
And the community goes back over 2 years.
For you to see.
So for new people that just join it, you can go back 2 years and get all the coaching and the teaching, all of those tricks and trades that I never talk about on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I want to make that clear too, because I don't say that enough. Those groups and the ILF Master Blueprint member, they get conversations that I could never talk about on YouTube, y'all.
Like our last one.
Y'all
was
think y'all get a
amazing.
lot from me here? You have no clue until you join one of these, or not one of, but the VIP ILF
Yeah.
Master Blueprint group. I say that this is not YouTube talk.
Because
And if
it's
you
not,
in that group,
it really isn't.
shout me out in the chat, because y'all know what I mean by when I say that.
We
I
have
say,
some
hey
amazing
guys,
conversations.
this right here ain't YouTube talk. And then I'll start going
Yeah.
into stuff. That's that deep stuff that I can never just spill on social media because it's just too good. And that's
And
for the
there needs
people
to
that
be
pay
a lot
for
of
it.
education behind
Gotta
it,
be-
right?
you
So
gotta be
it's just not,
educated.
yeah, it's not
'Cause
just
sometimes you'll hear me
conversations,
say,
it's
"Ooh."
education.
But that's not kind of what I meant.
Yeah,
And
it's
you
not
gotta hear
conversation.
me break
it's
it
more-
down.
It's conversation, including a lot of deep education. And this is that opportunity for you to get that coaching from not just Derek and ourselves, but we've got people in those groups that are
You're around the family at that point.
established, you know, established ILF owners
People that
and
we've taught it to.
operators. You know, you
Yep.
may not have direct access to Derek and myself, but by being in that group, we can have those conversations. We can shoot a video based around your question, or it'd be something that we'll make a bigger, make a more in-depth conversation, or you know, make it family talk, right, where we educate on that particular thing, and then you can hear other people's experiences, because I'm telling you, there's a there's a guarantee that somebody has faced what your question is, or they're, you know, or traversing through it as well. So I'm telling you, it is amazing. Michelle said it was
Michelle was there.
amazing.
And what's exciting about Michelle Saki, and I got a lot of Michelle's now.
Listen,
But Michelle
what?
is actually what I just call is newer
I
to
think I owe
us.
Michelle an apology.
But can you imagine? Michelle just got in this group, let's just say a week ago, but she can go back 2 years
Yeah.
in
And
terms of what
information.
we've taught. But also, she's IMP, so Michelle's got my personal number.
Yeah.
Michelle don't have to wait to some group to talk to me. Michelle is an ILF Mastery Blueprint member. That means she's got my cell phone number that my family and my wife got.
And
Right?
Michelle,
Outside people can't get that.
yeah, and Michelle, that was my faux pas earlier in your email. So that was my mistake. So I apologize. So just delete it. That was all me.
Yeah.
That Shay moving fast. See what happens?
Yep. Somebody says the real Brescia. Brescia. I think I know who that is. If
Why that
I'm
name
not
sounds-
mistaken, that's the young lady that I think we're in a group together with another coach of mine, D. Harper. So if that's you, Miss Crockett, let me know. I saw that you were joined in, I think, on our Saturdays room that played, and you left a lot of comments. So I'm hoping that's you. And if it's not, I apologize. But if that's you, we're waiting on you to join the family. Right. So our one-on-one coaching has right now a $5,000 discount just by putting 2025 in the coupon code at checkout. And then the DIY right now is on a crazy stupid sale. Instead of it being $997, it's only $297 one-time fee, and then $47 a month just to be inside of the VIP community. And that's optional. You don't have to get that. But I do tell people you cannot just be in the community for the $47. We're not doing that. You must purchase the package, which is right now is a no-brainer at that $297. So Miss Crockett, if that's you, if that's who I think it is, and you and I are under that same coaching with D. Harper, because as I tell you guys, and here's a teaching moment for you all, guys, get good coaching. Most of y'all that are here want to do this, what we do. Get good coaching, right? I myself, as a coach, I have probably 5 or 6 or 7 different coaches that I look up to that pour into me. And watch this, 4 or 5 of them don't even know me. They're my internet coaches. They're people that I watch and follow and learn from and buy their courses and teachings. But I got about 3 or 4 people that I can call, that I join groups with and get poured into just like y'all do. Make sense, everybody? So even with this, make sure you get good coaching. Why do you think Michelle jumped in the coaching? She want to do this. Why do you think Tammy jumped in the coaching? She want to do this. Make sense, everybody? So that's it for me. Move at the speed of instruction. Don't procrastinate, because it's an arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. And if you ain't no hater, and if you love us, or just like us a little bit, or if you appreciated what we gave, can y'all scan that QR code and just say 5 good words about us? Other than that, I love y'all like a fat kid loves cake. I'm going to go. Shay going to pray us out of here.
What? No,
I love
Shay's
y'all with the love of
distracted.
God. And I
Shay-
wish the best for you and your family and your business. And I pray that the devil is under your feet and has no place in your life, your business, or your family, and you will succeed in Jesus' name. That's kind of a prayer, but Shay, go ahead.
Give me a second. You got me while I'm super distracted. I'm sitting here messing around with automation.
Yeah, so we hit all the questions. That's done. That's done. So yeah, we're out of here.
So
you
Father,
guys be good.
In the name of Jesus, we thank you so much for all that you've done.
Amen.
We thank you for this opportunity, Lord Father God, to join with like-minded individuals that are hungry and thirsty for more information, to position themselves accordingly to help your people, the disfranchised, the ones that have been overlooked and casted out of community, Father. So I pray right now in the name of Jesus that something that we spoke about tonight ignites that fire for them to pursue your perfect purpose, plan, and will in their lives. Father, I pray right now over each and every person's day, their week, Father, that you would continue to invigorate them. Let this information forever resonate in their spirit. Father, and I just pray right now that they too will be the hands and feet of Christ by doing your will, helping the least of these as your word says to do. And Father, we just be sure to give you all the glory, honor, and praise. Father, I ask and pray for sweet sleep over each and every one of your children, those that are here now, those that will watch the replays. I just pray that you would, again, give them rest, give them dreams and visions, Lord Father God, to pursue your perfect purpose and plan and will in their lives. And Father, we'll be so sure to give you all the glory,
Amen.
all the honor, and all the praise. Again, let them be gifted with, give them full strength, health, the sound mind, able bodies, Lord Father God, to do your perfect will. And we'll be sure, again, to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. And it's in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. If you guys believe that, type amen in the chat. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern to talk about what system runs all of these businesses that we talk about. How do we send emails to social workers and case managers? What does the conversation sound like? Again, what is the back end to everything that we do? Don't wait to be great. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern.
God bless.
Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forster Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forster Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forster Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA, and you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information. Hey, what's going on, family? Are you somebody that needs some help in your life or your business? Are you somebody that has a lot of ideas, but you can't quite get them out? You probably need a virtual assistant, guys. And again, at $5 an hour, that's an absolute cheat code for you, your life, your family, and your business. Because oftentimes these virtual assistants, guys, can do a lot of what we can't. And they often come with a bachelor or a master's degree. So when it comes to the educational side of it, guys, these VAs are, again, the cheat code to everything that you're probably looking for. Most of you guys have a full-time job, so it's hard to kind of implement a lot of the ideas that God has given you or the ideas that are in your heart. You should be visiting va101.co to get a virtual assistant that can help you in your life and your business and get some of these ideas out of your brain onto paper and then to implementation. One more time, visit va101.co, not .com, but va101.co and get a virtual assistant, guys, for $5 an hour. It's the cheat code, and it'll be the best decision that you ever made. I promise. We figured out your problem. You have a great business or a great business idea. You just don't have a website. So visit digitalflowsolutions.net and get the best website in the world for only $97. And then you just pick your monthly plan. Let's get back to the content. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying this information. But just in case if you was wondering, how could you get more one-on-one coaching just like this? First of all, you can ask just by typing it in the chat, or you can visit forsterconsultants.com/IMB. Again, the IMB stands for ILF Mastery Blueprint. So again, if you want one-on-one coaching, let us know. This is exactly what we do. And again, don't spend all your time in this room today without asking questions. As you see, we're giving out a lot of great information. So make sure you ask your questions just to make sure that you fully understand it. And then also don't forget, we give you guys a free strategy call. So we want you to watch our webinar. That's it. Also at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, but also soak up a lot of this information that we're giving you guys on YouTube, and then schedule a free strategy call so that we can get on the phone to talk about how fast can we get you started. Let's get back to the show. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forstonconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for a Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forstonconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show.
Take a drive down Los Angeles' Skid Row, filled with tents, people, and growing frustration.
If I can get back into another residence, then I won't make the same mistakes I made before.
According to new federal data, a record number of people are now unhoused, more than 653,000, a 12% population increase since last year. Mel Tilakaratna runs a nonprofit that provides free showers to people living on the street.
The system is completely overwhelmed.
Tilakaratna points to a rise in housing costs, the opioid epidemic, mental health issues, and the migrant crisis as
Have you ever wanted to open your own group home? Were you told that you needed a license from the state? Were you told that you had to hire staff? You were probably told that you had to own the property, right? Let Forston Consultants introduce you to Independent Living Facilities, ILF, which are group homes that do not require a license, staff, and you don't have to own the property. At Forston Consultants, we walk you through the entire process of how to operate your own independent living facility. We don't just give you a bunch of videos to watch on your own, which could get confusing. Here is what you need to do next, in this order. Step number 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Forston Consultants for tons of secrets on how to start your own independent living facility. Step 2, sign up for our webinar at forstonconsultants.com to learn more about this great opportunity. Step number 3, purchase our best-selling book, How to Open an Independent Living Facility in 10 Easy Steps. Step number 4, contact us for your free consultation so you can quit your boring job in the next 90 days.